Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me? All right. I gotta go. I gotta do it. I can't sit around playing games. How you guys doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. Glad you can make it. I'm doing my best to make it, guys. Oh man, something's a little different tonight. My lavalier mics, my live mics, the sound on my last video, my last live stream was so bad. I had people saying, Tim Black, we love your show, but you need to fix that, Playboy. Yeah, you got to fix it, sir. So I said, wow, man, I love my lav mics because I don't want anything in my way. I want to be able to go off if I need to. I want to be able to act a fool if I need to. I want to be able to get passionate, and not have to feel like I got to grab the mic and do something. But I have a perfectly good mic sitting in a box. So why would I have crappy audio if I have an alternative that I can use right now? But I tell you, it's weird, guys, just using this spaghetti thing, this arm thing. Anyway, enough about me. How was your day? I'm going to check to make sure my Facebook people, my YouTube people, and my Periscope people can hear me clearly tonight. So, Frederick Murphy said he hears just fine. All right, Fred, what's up, man? What's up, King James? King James said, GQ tonight. I just try to get a little, I try to be good at what I'm doing, that's all. And thank you, though. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Max Waller's in the house. Max, what's up, man? Where you been, bro? Glad to have you back. Let me check on the Facebook side. What's up, Eli, man? Eli, I forgot. Eli has a wrench. He's a moderator. He and Super Dave. Dave don't mind if I call him Super Dave, do you? Anyway, yeah. Shout out to Eli. And let me go to Facebook just to make sure Facebook's good. Facebook people are in the house. Okay, we got Ginger Liberty, a favorite amongst the crew. Erica. Noah, no, that is a familiar name. Man, where you been? Eleanor. See, I know these people. I know them. We've been around the block. What's up, Helen? How you doing, Helen? Bruce Linnell. Oh, man, we got the squad in tonight. Jeff Pearson, Rose Wade, Rita Cernagila. All right, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. Right now would be a good time. Right now would be a good time to share this on your social media. I've done some changes to my PC, hoping that would hold us off until we can get a new PC. I'm every day. I'm spending hours working on this thing. I'm rebuilding it. I'm trying new stuff. I'm taking stuff out. I'm deleting stuff. I'm rebuilding stuff every day. I've been doing that, and I did that again today. In fact, I just did a change. That's why we're late. I was going to be on time for 10 p.m., but I had to make some more changes because it was crashing already. So I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm going to say, it looks good right now. So look, guys, share this on your social media. We got a lot of great topics to hit. You know how we do here. We don't play games. And we're not about kissing anybody's butt because we're not funded by anybody other than viewers like yourself. Shout out to No More Donations and Bree. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, No More Donations. And I'm just going to thank people. Shout out to my man Oz. Iron Man Oz. Thank you, Oz, for being on the phone with me during the middle of the day while he's trying to do his job, walking me through various technical things he thinks I should try. That's what's up with the wolf pack. We have a family. The Tim Black Wolf Pack, that's that wolf behind me. They got my back. And you can be a part of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, or do it right here on YouTube. All right, Tim, so what you got for us tonight? Well, look, guys, we had such an amazing night last night. I want to follow it up with another amazing night. I got some stuff that's kind of close to my heart tonight. That's really whipping me up. It turns out maybe Joe Biden isn't the flavor of the month. Maybe, just maybe his stuff does stink. Maybe he's not a shoo-in for the nomination. Maybe, just maybe, everyone's not as delusional as I thought they were. And maybe every poll that said he was walking on air wasn't as accurate as it could have been. Or maybe people are just becoming more informed. That could be it. People are waking up to the BS. So we're going to talk about Joe Biden's slip. He's slipping, yo. He's slipping. And they're trying to cover for him. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Bernie Sanders and a riveting speech he gave at the California Democratic Convention, what they got going on in California. I wish I could be there with you, but I had two teeth pulled Friday. Shout out to Cullen. Cullen, what's up, man, if you're watching? I love you guys, man. More shout out to the team Tulsi, all right? But I know you guys are holding it down and you're doing your thing. So I'm with you in spirit. And I did a riveting video about Tulsi Gabbard yesterday that people love for some reason. Turns out I got away with, sometimes I don't always say the wrong thing. Sometimes, I'm okay. So I got those two stories. So also some stuff about Elizabeth Warren we want to talk about. But I like to start off with Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. No, actually, I want to start off with this. And this is why I love what we do. This is why I love what I do, because I can say, you know what, I'm going to make a change. I don't have to call, I don't have to clear it with my coach or my boss or run it up the stairs or make sure that we filled out the form in triplicate. I don't need to worry about the, like in Office Space, they had those forms they need to fill out, and you got to make sure you fill out the cover sheet. Like, remember that? I don't have to worry about any of that. I could just call an audible right here, right now. I'm calling an audible. I want to point out something, y'all. Brothers and sisters, who is the idiot? Who's the idiot who wants to form a march for straight people in a response to the gay people's march? Who is this organization, this group of people that want to do this? Who are these people? And more importantly, why do they exist? What is wrong with you mofos? I mean, seriously, what is wrong with you? This is, I want to make sure this is not a hoax. I want to make sure this is a real thing. There's actually a group that doesn't understand that in society, typically, in our society, in the history of the United States, LGBTQ people have suffered discrimination in various ways. Why do you need to try to piggyback or steal their fire? And why do you make a mockery of that discrimination that they've experienced? Just can't have nothing, can they? People can't have nothing. They do the same thing to us. Gay folks, they do the same thing to black folks all the time. Yeah, we can't have nothing. We say Black Lives Matter, they say White Lives Matter. Then they said Blue Lives Matter. Then they said, I don't know, prison guards' lives matter. Then they said bullets' lives matter. Then they said, they just kept coming up with lives matter. Just because they couldn't be a part of it. It's like the people that they got to be able to say the N-word, or they don't feel right about themselves. They want to argue because they don't get to be N-words. You want to be an N-word that bad? Really, really? Back to the gay folks, man. My LGBTQ people, I got nothing but love for you. And I understand what you're going through. And as much as I can't stand when people compare black issues to gay issues, because don't nobody know you gay until you tell them. Or unless you show them, right? But they know I'm black. Yeah, ain't no hiding that. You know, I don't got to. I could. You know, if I could be undercover, sometimes I would be, just so I can get a good interest rate, just so my kids can get the better teacher, just so my wife would get treated special in the hospital. You know, I really would. I mean, I would pass if I could pass. Ain't no passing. So that's just a difference there. But believe me, man, I feel your pain on this. This is garbage, man. If you're a straight white male in America, I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. I'm so sorry you're having a hard time. If you can't be successful, it's not a gay person's fault. Well, it's not the gay community's fault if you're not. It definitely ain't my fault. Well, until we realize we're all getting screwed by the same people. Not literally, but we are getting screwed by the same people. Until we realize that, we ain't going to ever. Just get it together, man. And that organization, whoever they are, somebody shout them out in the comment section. You are a laughing stock. You are shameful. You're an embarrassment to straight people. You really are. You don't want to go to the gay pride parade, don't go. But don't do your own parade called the Straight Pride Parade. Ridiculous. Okay. All right. You don't have to go, but you don't have to make light of, transgender teens have a really hard time, man. They really do, man. Suicide rates are off the charts, and you make fun of it. All joking aside, that makes you a low individual. You need to become educated. All right, so moving on, because I could stay there for a while, but I think those losers get my point. Now, I got some clips I want to share with you, but this story has no clip. I don't think it needs a clip. It's about Elizabeth Warren on The Breakfast Club. How many people saw Elizabeth Warren on The Breakfast Club? How many people know what The Breakfast Club is? Not that one that AOC was dancing to in that video she made in college, but I mean the actual Breakfast Club on, 105 point something, Power 105? With the, Angela Yee, DJ Envy, Charlamagne. The one that Hillary went on the show and said, "Oh, I got hot sauce. Is it working? Is it working?" Well, Elizabeth Warren went on this show, and I was really surprised the way Charlamagne gave her the business. Oh, yeah, Charlamagne was not letting her slide with anything. I was impressed. Now, I don't know if Charlamagne watches his show or not, but I have been critical of him in the past about his interviewing skills, where I think he's being tougher on some candidates and a lot nicer with other candidates. And that's true. I do feel like, for whatever reason, he was nicer to Pete Buttigieg. He was nicer to Kamala Harris. There's obvious bias there. And he wasn't so nice to Bernie Sanders. But just the sheer fact that you weren't that nice to Elizabeth Warren, that you asked her tough questions, well, all is forgiven. All is forgiven. You called her Rachel Dolezal, the original Rachel Dolezal. And then you asked her, did she benefit from saying she was Native American? Oh, man, it was a thing of beauty, Charlamagne, man. That's the Charlamagne I love seeing. And don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, it's not easy interviewing people. I know this. And it's hard to please people when you interview people. I get it. I totally get it, right? But he did a good job interviewing Elizabeth Warren. She dropped the ball. And she tried to skirt away from the issues. Elizabeth Warren does not like dealing with issues directly head on. At least not when it comes to her. And when you become part of the conversation, you got to deal with it head on. You're not going to just walk away from the whole Pocahontas thing, the whole DNA test thing, all of that. You just can't pretend it didn't happen. You're going to have to address it. You can't think you're going to go on the show and you're just going to slide by. You like my dog Brutus, when he gets in the trash can and I catch him, he's like, I told him to get in his cage. He's kind of trying to slide by me like, trying to slide by. Well, you can't do that, Elizabeth Warren. It's not going to work. So, Elizabeth Warren, I think that's the reason why she didn't want to go on Fox News. Why she didn't want to do the Fox News town hall? I know that's why. Because she knew she was going to have a day like she had with Charlamagne the God, but it would just keep going. Like Charlamagne let her breathe a little, then he came back. Just when she thought she was done with the subject, he came back again. Well, what about this? But then, well, why'd you do that? You know, he just kept on it, guys. It was a thing of beauty, y'all. Thing of beauty. So once again, shout out to Charlamagne tha God for holding Elizabeth Warren accountable and getting her battle tested. Lady, you're going to have to knuckle up and get ready. Instead of giving a speech that sounded like you're about to break down in tears, it's all this. Why do people put on? So she's just like always feels like she's trying to make you feel like she's so enraged. But you know, we see rage on this show. You see me get pissed off. You know when someone's pissed off. You don't get the feeling like they're trying to be pissed off. You know when someone's upset, when someone's angry, when someone wants to fight back, when someone is had it up to here, to the highest of highestivity. And that's not who, I don't get that impression from Rachel Dolezal. I mean, Elizabeth Warren. So anyway, shout out to Charlamagne tha God for that one. Now we're going to go to the clips. I said I was going to start with Pete Buttigieg, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's go to Pete, Mayor Pete. We know he's been the person everyone's been talking about for quite some time. He's had a lot of fire, a lot of momentum behind his candidacy. I feel like a lot of it is just because it's a good story. It's a story that, you know, writers like writing about. And I get that if you're a writer for a paper, you like writing about stories that are interesting. And it's an interesting story to have a candidate who is, you know, openly gay and married, and is doing, you know, well in the polls and, you know, Rhodes Scholar, Yale, went to Yale, also a veteran. It's a lot of stuff there, right? So I get it. But the thing is this. Most of those things that you're mentioning have nothing to do with his ability to do the job as president. So Mayor Pete was at some type of an event. I don't know where the event was. I think it was in California. But he was asked a question, and to me, he did not do a good job on this question at all. But I'm going to let you decide that. Then we'll come back and talk about it. Mayor Pete being asked a tough question. Here it is.
One that speaks to your character and your capabilities. But you are a tremendous resume, one that speaks to your character and your capabilities. But you are running in a field of truly exceptional candidates, particularly in the case of the women who are running, like Senators Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. So my question to you is, why should the women of America vote for you over our sisters who are kind of more qualified?
Look, I admire so many of the people running. They're extraordinary. And by the way, we ought to have a woman in the Oval Office right now. I'm still disappointed that didn't happen. Now, the other thing that I want the women of America to know, because I've met a lot of women who say, I like you, I like your message, I think you got an appealing candidacy, but I just will not vote for a man this time, is that I get it, and whether you decide to be for me or not, I promise that I will be for you.
That was Democratic presidential contender Mayor Pete Buttigieg at MSNBC's town hall last night, answering what seems to be the central question in this year's heavily populated 2020 Democratic primary. Why you? Joining our conversation, Juanita Tolliver, Director of Campaigns at the Center for American Progress Action Fund. She's advised campaigns on their Get Out the Vote efforts. We'll start with you. Why him?
I mean, what I left that with is like, sure, he laid out his credentials, but he didn't lay out a really persuasive argument as to why him. Because I think his final line was, I'm just something different. And so what could have been a great opportunity there for him to really paint a clear picture, a persuasive argument for his candidacy, kind of fell flat for me. And I think we're going to be looking to him to really hold up that end of the energy around there should be a woman in the White House right now, being something that doesn't work in his favor going forward.
I think that he doesn't have a great rationale for his candidacy in terms of experience or accomplishments. You know, it's the mayor of a relatively small town, but he's extraordinarily talented, right? So I think he may never have a great answer to that question, and he may still continue to do very well because I think people really like the way he parries these questions and the way he dissects Trump's and dismisses him in a very effective way. How persuasive that is to Iowa caucus goers, ultimately, I'm not sure, but I think he'll continue to do well nationally because people find that
You
really
said one
appealing.
word, and I interviewed him on Saturday Night Politics. And he is so damn likable. You know, beyond his resume, which is almost inhuman, and the fact that he's a vet and the Rhodes Scholar and the Harvard and it goes on and on. But the way he answers questions doesn't feel like a politician. Even sometimes if he's kind of doing a little bit of a dance, there's a genuineness. And Nicole, you know this better than anybody. At the end of the day, voters don't vote on issues. They vote on, do I like the candidate? Do I trust? Do I believe in the candidate? And he has a lot of that with him. And I think one of the people who are going to pop on debate stage, other than the top 3 or 4, I think he's going to be one of those people.
I'm surprised you didn't say, you know who does have that is Governor Steve Bullock.
What, does it have what?
No, when you're going through the gravitas, you got to count your gun.
This is true.
For Pete, Mayor Pete, I think, you know, to answer your question, his position has been he's a generational change, and I think he is literally the living embodiment of generational change. He's 37 years old. I, as a near 37-year-old, think it's a little crazy, but whatever. That is what it is. Obviously, there are some hurdles he still has to clear, and one of them is gender, and one of them is race. And to the extent that he can, he's grappling with those issues now. And so the answer he gave last night seemed to be the most plausible answer to a question that was essentially, you kind of suck compared to these women.
No, you can't.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Sneaky Pete. All right, Sneaky Pete. Okay, so I'm way over here in the corner, aren't I? Well, it'd be good to put pictures over here, right? Okay. So what'd you think about Pete's performance there? Yeah, I got some comments about his performance. That's what it is. It's a performance. You know, like canned lines. Oh, you thought he just came up with that like on the spot. The whole, I get it. Whether you decide whether you decide to be for me or not, I'm going to be for you. I mean, how corny can it possibly be? How much hot air can one person ingest before you go like, be real. Keep it real. It's just a guy saying nice stuff. That's all it is. It's a guy saying nice stuff. Listen. I understand there are people who are gullible. But if you don't see that Pete is playing a role of something that he thinks people want him to be, if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. It's so obvious. That's my first point. That line was a canned line. I'm sure he's used it before. I can't be for you. Don't be for me. I'll be for you. You don't have to love me. I'ma love you. You don't have to you can want to punch me in the face, but I still love you. If you can, pummel me with rocks and I'll still kiss your feet. I mean, what is that? Is that really a leader? Or is it just a nice guy who runs a bakery or something? Yeah. So number 2, it should not go unmentioned that Pete met with Hillary Clinton before he decided he was going to run, and they had a little conversation. I got a feeling I know what they talked about. See, the reason why Pete wasn't like, I got a suggestion here. Here's why you should vote for me, as if he was really trying to win. It's because he's not trying to win, dummy. Can't tell me no one on that staff, no one on that panel, MSNBC panel, thought about the sheer fact that maybe, just maybe, well, not the fact, but the opinion, the possibility that Pete is not running to win. A person who's running to win always has something prepared to say, hey, yeah, I'm the best person for the job because, not, well, you don't got to choose me. And when women say they never have a woman, I go, yeah, you're right. So why the hell are people donating to you, Pete? Why the hell are you donating? Why are people donating to you? And why are you spending all of their money on Facebook ads and Google ads? Guys, there was a report that came out this week that I saw of how much money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, Pete is spending to run a race where he doesn't even think he's the person that should be leading. He does not believe that he's the best person for the job. He would have said it. He can't say you're the best person for the job. If you can't say you're the best person for the job, you shouldn't be trying out for the job. You are in the way. You are in the way, Pete. You're in the way. You need to go sit down. We want real people that really want to be president. What you want to do is what's behind door number 2, which is getting your career crafted.